Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? Then you need to join the next round in the Dream Bigger Mastermind. Get on the waitlist today to secure early access and an exclusive bonus when enrollment opens. It's time to manifest your best life yet. Hello, friend. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back to another episode of Breathe More. I am feeling so energized and excited, in part because just moving to Idyllwild has been so healing for my body, and being in this slower pace has also given me more energy to do more, which has been wonderful. But I'm also really excited because my Dream Bigger Mastermind is starting in a month. And I don't like to describe my programs as this is my favorite and this is my second favorite, but actually, you know how like parents don't like to tell in public like who their favorite child is, even though I totally believe that every parent has a favorite child. Well, my Dream Bigger Mastermind, if I'm completely honest, is my favorite program. And it's a program that I've been hosting for the last 4 years. At this point, I've had over 100 people participate in it. And the way that I do anything in my life is that I allow it to evolve. I allow it to get better. I tweak it. I pay attention to see what would be really supportive for my clients. And I can't wait to see who joins this next round. Part of the magic in the Dream Bigger Mastermind is the community that comes together. That's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite offerings, is because this diverse group of people come together with different goals, different intentions, yet they help each other so much. I'll get into it a little bit more, giving specific examples, but I wanted to share first why I created the Dream Bigger Mastermind. And this starts with sharing more about my story and my upbringing. Some of you know it at this point. Some of you have no idea who I am. So growing up, I grew up in Napa, California. I'm the oldest daughter of immigrant parents who came from Mexico. My dad's an alcoholic. My mom was just trying to keep everything together. My parents were completely overwhelmed, and I was a sensitive kid, strong, yet very aware of how stressed out my parents were, how much they were in survival mode, how much they were struggling financially. Yet when I was a child, I always dreamed bigger. I would tell my parents these insane dreams that I had, and they would look at me like, where are you even coming up with this? For example, my dad, as a side hustle, he would do people's yards, like cut their lawns, clean, just handyman work, extra work to help support a family of 6. And the families that he would work with were very wealthy families in Napa and Sonoma County. And I think they would have some pity over us. I don't know. Anyways, they would give us their hand-me-downs, clothes. And then also there is this family that gave us their old National Geographic magazines. This might sound strange, but these magazines allowed me and encouraged me to dream bigger. It opened up my world from growing up in a small town of Napa, and it was much smaller in the 80s and not as popular as it is now, to just in my reality of like struggling, of constantly hearing no, to then seeing pictures and learning about other cultures, seeing other places. And I would tell my mom, I'm like, when I'm older, I'm going to travel to Australia. And she would look at me like, I don't even think she knew where Australia was. Like, she's just like, whatever, I'm just trying to get dinner on the table. That was the first memory that I have of me just like dreaming bigger, of having this full body knowing that someday I'm going to go there, and the how and when didn't matter. The excitement and that energy was fully embodied. And I continued living my life in that way, no matter How many times people told me, "What are you talking about? That's crazy. That's never going to happen." People who were supposed to be supportive and encouraging me to dream bigger, to go after my goals, like my counselors at school, would also try to discourage me from setting those goals, from wanting more from life. And so growing up in that environment, it took a lot of energy and self-belief and self-trust to hold that vision. And because I had that, I would manifest constantly, miracles. This is before I had ever heard the word manifest. This is before I knew about the healing world. Again, it was just this full body, yes, this is happening. And I believe in myself. And I don't know how, but it is. It's going to happen. And I had so much evidence to prove to myself that that was just my reality. And then it wasn't until I moved to LA and I became an adult, basically, right? And I started to learn and come across other people who didn't have my way of seeing the world. Yes, as a child, I saw that too, but I wasn't conscious of it, right? It was just constant no's and just discouragement. But I wasn't aware of like, why is it, or had the thought of, why is it that I'm this way and other people have a hard time believing in themselves or don't even give themselves permission to dream? And so the inception of the Dream Bigger Mastermind happened at the beginning of the pandemic, where I wasn't letting a shutdown stop me from accomplishing my goals. I was going to pivot. I was going to reach out to my contacts. I was going to get creative. Yet what I was seeing all around me were people going into the frozen state, were people getting really frightened and giving up, losing hope, shutting down. And so that was the first round of the Dream Bigger Mastermind, where I'm like, hey, if you want to be in a safe group where we get to still dream, where we're still going to be setting goals and accomplishing them and doing healing work, join us. My first round of Dream Bigger Mastermind sold out immediately. And that was so exciting because that told me, okay, people want to do this. They want to do this and they don't necessarily know how to. So let me teach them what I know. And so over the last 4 years, as I said at the beginning, it definitely has evolved. And now in this round, and I've been playing with this in my current mastermind that's taking place that came together in the fall, I'm teaching more. I'm coaching a lot, but I'm also teaching you my manifesting blueprint. And so this has evolved into dividing the 6 months of the Dream Bigger Mastermind into the first 2 months. We're basically going to be healing. We're going to be shining light on the beliefs, the things that are holding you back, the stories, the identities, the money wounds. And we do different exercises every week to start to shift that energy. Then the month 3 and 4, we're working on reprogramming beliefs. We're boosting our confidence. We're putting together a list of evidence so that our brain can start to believe even more so that this can happen to you, so that you feel deserving, so that you feel more courageous to take action. And then the last 2 months are an acceleration of the manifesting. It's like we start to put together an action plan. We reach out to people to support you, a team, whatever it is that you need. And that is how the new round in the Dream Bigger Mastermind is going to unfold. The beautiful thing about all of this too is that all of you are going to come together and bring your own stuff, right? So I have my curriculum, if you will, but it's still going to be tailored to the energy of the group, to what's coming up for our group, and support you so that you continue to have momentum. And the group in the mastermind, it's very diverse. And so different things are coming up. But the beautiful thing is that what you might be struggling with today, somebody has overcome it. And so then they become an example for your mind that, okay, I can hold on to hope. I do see a way out of this. And you also get really concrete, practical advice. Currently, in one of my Dream Bigger masterminds, we have a group where someone needs to find a new job. Like it's toxic, they're unhappy, they're not validated, they're not making enough money, but they're also feeling stuck and traumatized to go to a new job. And they're worried that the same thing is just going to happen because that's a pattern that they've identified. Like every job that I go to, I tend to have an emotionally abusive boss, or it starts out great, but then things get really bad and toxic. So we've helped her to identify, what is this pattern? Why is it coming up for you? What part of you is seeking that love and validation that you're not getting from your bosses? And so we've identified that it's the inner child, and she still doesn't feel loved or safe or worthy. And so she's creating unconsciously this reality that she experienced when she was younger and those feelings. And so I helped her have that breakthrough. We've been working on having new beliefs around that. And then someone else in that same group is an HR manager. And so that person has so much expertise and value that they're sharing with our group on how to navigate this situation in a professional way. It's been incredible to see these relationships get close and support each other and encourage each other and sharing each other's gifts and tools that in your day-to-day life may not happen. And that's the beauty of the Dream Bigger Mastermind. Friendships are born here. Collaborations are born. There's so much magic that happens. And the reason why it's 6 months, when I first started Mastermind 4 years ago, it was only 2 months. And that time came and went real quick. And there was still a lot of work to be done, which is part of the reason why my clients decided to continue to join. At this point, the stats that I have for alumni doing Mastermind more than once is 80%. And that's because every time they join, they get so much value, they get so much transformation. And they rejoin because they're looking to continue to uplevel their life. They're looking to continue healing. They're looking for that community. Another thing that happened for so many folks during the pandemic is that we recognized that we outgrew our friendship group, that they could no longer relate to us, that they were satisfied with their reality and didn't want to dream bigger. They didn't want more, and they were making them feel bad for wanting more in life. And so the Dream Bigger Mastermind is that safe place where you can tell us your most outrageous dreams, and we'll look at you and we're like, yeah, amazing. How can we help you? Let's put together a plan. Let's do it. It will happen. And that in itself, it's just so regulating for the nervous system. The other thing about the Dream Bigger Mastermind, and I know I've done this myself, is that we think, oh, this is just an accountability group. Like I can do that alone. I can get together a group of friends and hold each other accountable to go after our goals. Well, what ends up happening is that there's good momentum at the beginning, and then life happens and people start to flake, or you notice that your friends are not doing what they said they would be doing. And so there isn't a lot of growth or momentum. Again, I've done this with a couple of friends and it just fizzles out. Why is that? Because it's not an official container with a coach, with a healer guiding it. It's just people on the same journey, maybe or not. And there needs to be a leader. And also there needs to be an exchange, because without an exchange, if you don't know what exchange means, I refer to that as like, you got to pay for it. Because without paying for it, you have nothing invested into it. And that's why it's so easy to flake, to not do your homework, to not take the action you say you're going to be doing, because what's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, maybe your friend's going to be annoyed or whatever. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you continue to have the same results that you don't want to have anymore. But you get what I'm saying, right? That's why it's important for us to invest in ourselves, in our dreams, in our healing, because that's the only way that I've seen that people truly get the results that they want. So another big change for this Dream Bigger Mastermind is the price point. Speaking of exchange, one of the feedbacks that I've gotten is that it just didn't feel accessible to a lot of folks. And it was the price that it was because the groups were really intimate. You got a lot of one-on-one attention. You got private sessions. Like I really held you a lot. And as a way to make it more accessible, I decided to lower the price significantly. However, it's no longer going to include the private sessions. It's going to be, as I mentioned, more of a teaching and doing the exercises and also the coaching. You're still going to have my guidance 100%. There's going to be coaching every single call. The other thing that I also changed is that now it's going to be weekly. So before it wasn't weekly because I needed time to do the private sessions. I needed time for y'all to like integrate. And so now you're going to get more opportunities to hop on live, come in, tell us what you're struggling with, celebrate your wins, get some coaching around it. And then on top of that, you also get access to me outside of our group call. So if anything comes up, if you get triggered or activated, you still have my support. And I'm going to be switching to Slack so that we can send video memos there, voice memos. We can have all the information and the requests organized. It's easy to access. So that's another change that I'm excited about too. I have some new bonuses as well included where I'm going to be hosting for those who are in the wait list. So that's the other thing that I'll get to. In the wait list, and then also I'm hosting a free Dream Up the New Year workshop to launch the enrollment period, which is only going to be 10 days this time. Okay, I feel like I'm switching back and forth, but basically you only have 10 days to decide if you're going to be part of Mastermind, because I also found that people have decision fatigue. Our brains are so good with convincing us out of doing something or sitting on something for so long. And I want to save you that hassle. I want you to, as soon as doors open, that you're super clear. Okay, yeah, I'm going to join it, even though it feels scary, even though the investment is a stretch. But I am not going to let another whole year go by with life just being the same, with it feeling hard, with feeling stuck, feeling not confident. I want positive change. I'm unsure how to get it. I know there's still healing to do because there's these limiting beliefs that keep blocking me. I keep going into the self-sabotage. So it's 10 days for us to talk. We're all going to have a conversation together. Not all, but like you and me. And then you're in, basically. So that's another shift in that. So what I was getting at was doors will open for enrollment on February 10th, which is the day that I'm hosting a free workshop, Dream Up the New Year. And then we're going to start Dream Bigger Mastermind on Tuesday, February 20th. The group call is going to be 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 p.m. Eastern time. And there's only going to be one group this time. So spaces are limited. Make sure you get on the wait list. And you also have the bonus of being part of my membership, The Collective, for free for a whole year. So this is where a lot of the healing work is going to be happening. This is where we have the breathwork classes, where we have our new moon circles to continue setting intentions and working with magic. We have guest healers so that you're introduced to other modalities. You have a library of meditation. So anytime that you get activated, triggered, there's so many resources in the collective for you to access on demand. So that is added for free for anyone who joins the Dream Bigger Mastermind. And then the other bonus for those who are on the wait list and who participate in the Dream Up the New Year event, this is a limited bonus, is I'm hosting a virtual manifestation retreat at some point in March. So we're going to be spending about 4 hours together. Again, moving energy, healing, getting our energy nice and sparkly, raising our vibration so that you can manifest with more ease. So I can't wait. I am so excited to start this new round. As I was sharing at the beginning, I can't wait to see who joins. I hope it's you. This is truly a life-changing program. There's so many subtle changes that happen, but what we're doing is we're creating a new foundation for the life that you want to create for yourself. We only get one life, folks. Well, I believe that we get multiple lives, but we're living this life, right? So let's make it the best that we can. This mastermind, I wanted to create it because I wanted to encourage other people to dream bigger, no matter what their family tells them, no matter what society tells you. You can create whatever life you desire. It is accessible to you. And I am living proof that that can happen. All right, friend, thank you so much for listening today. Go to the link, annalilia.net/mastermind to get on that wait list. If you have any questions about it, please reach out. And I can't wait to connect with you again real soon. Have a great one.